Okay, so welcome to our Lunch with LEC session. This month we're going to focus on the arts. And I am Amy Good, as I said, the program manager here at the CEC and an alumni for the leadership program. So we also have with us today a few of our LEC advisory committee members who were the organizers for today. So I am going to pass it off right now to Sheila Singer, and she will introduce our first speaker for today.
Good afternoon. California-born but Pennsylvania-raised Michaela Poland, artist and graphic designer, now lives and works in St. Mary's. Poland is a self-taught painter that is pursuing her passion for painting and managing her own small business, PA Made, which showcases both her graphic design and unique wildlife painting. Art in the outdoors have always been a lifelong passion for Michaela and is the core mission of PA Made. It is a multifaceted business, including merchandise, paintings, graphic design services, and teaching. Michaela is a professional PA Wilds juried artisan since 2017 and a rostered AIE teaching artist through the Elk County Council of the Arts. Her goal is to continue to help her community, wildlife, and share the message of the love and pride of Pennsylvania and all the resources it has to offer. Welcome, Michaela.
Thank you, Sheila, and thank you for having me today. It's really an honor to so Sheila gave kind of an overview of what I do. But I'm Michaela Poland. I'm the owner and artist behind PA. A little background: I went to school here in St. Mary's, and then I pursued university at Edinburgh for graphic design and photography. Right after school, I kind of moved around a little bit, and I didn't plan on initially moving to St. Mary's after graduating high school, and I came back home shortly after school, and I fell in love with it, and PA Made kind of happened really organically. I've always been artistic, never saw myself as a painter. And I just started, picking up and painting wildlife, and I really fell in love with it. And I do have a painting behind me. I paint directly onto the glass of old wooden flames. And I just, again, came upon it really organically. I was at a yard sale and I picked up these, 1-by-1 little windows and painted on them. And from there, I always explain it as a 0 to 60 experience. I started selling my paintings at festivals like the Whistler Chainsaw Rendezvous. But as much as I loved painting, I kind of lost my graphic design roots. And that's when I started designing Elk County and outdoor inspired kind of logos that I made into stickers, and then, grew those logos onto getting them printed on t-shirts. So that's a little background and what I do. Along with the wildlife paintings, I also do a lot of pet paintings, graphic design services. I work with small businesses on designing logos for them. I've worked with the Elk-Cameron Conservation District on designing the 2019 Pennsylvania River of the Year carrying logo and things like that. So I'm wearing one of my shirts I have on, but I'll show you the back of it. And so again, Elk County inspired. This is one of my most popular sellers. Got everything I could think of Elk County and things that kind of make us unique as an area. Besides just Elk County things, I have some designs that are just like outdoor related. And then again, I have some stickers. And here's that Clarion River of the Year logo. We actually sold these stickers and t-shirts to raise money that would go to, watershed projects and keeping the Clarion clean and education efforts to continue the beauty and how special the Clarion River is. And that's some of the community involvement. I also work with the Keystone Elk Country Alliance. I've worked with them doing, donating paintings for banquets and raising money for them. They do a Ladies' Day Out event every summer, and I'll go up there and teach a hour-long painting class to ladies. So that's a really great and fun event. This past summer, I again worked with the Elk County Conservation District to do an upstream project, which comprised of 2 murals that would be painted near storm drains to educate the public on our watershed and not to dump pollutions down the drain that would eventually lead to our rivers and our streams. There's one here in St. Mary's by the parking garage and one in Ridgeway by Joey's Bakery. So that was a really fun project, and I'll be doing another one this summer. I have some notes here so I don't forget anything. Last year, even though COVID was kind of cuckoo bananas, a lot of my business runs off of festivals and setting up at places, like the Elk Center for their Elk Expo. I don't have a lovely gallery like Jessie does. I work right out of my home. So where I'm sitting now is my studio. It's my workspace. It's pretty much my storefront. But a lot of people, I was still able to sell online. I was able to do those murals. And I was able to do a couple outdoor festivals safely. Again, my goals as a business is to continue to work with these conservation, conservation, I don't know the words, nonprofits like PICA, the Conservation District. Really, that's at the heart of who I am and what I've always wanted PMA to do, and just to continue to design some really awesome projects and t-shirts and I'm always, when I'm selling t-shirts, a lot of people pick them up and they love to send them as gifts to people who were born here. It may no longer live here. So I love seeing that like pride and excitement that people are like, well, you can't find this Crick shirt anywhere else because we're really unique as a community to say some of these things. With this year still being a little COVID restricted, I do have plans to attend the Bavarian Fall Fest in St. Mary's this fall, and the Elk Expo again in the fall. And that's a little bit about me. And again, I want to thank Sheila and the LEC for having me today.
Michaela, I have a question. I know you said that you work out of your studio. Could you tell us actually where it is located in St. Mary's? I don't know, I apologize, I don't know. So where are you located, Michaela?
I don't actually have like a storefront in the studio. I just work out of my home.
Right.
In between the elementary school and Chestnut Street Park. It's a little, so I like that I'm really in the heart of the town, and I just work out of my home. And when people, request custom paintings, I very often, it's really nice that I'm local to town and people can come and pick up their things. The goal is to have a small storefront and a gallery and a place to sell my work.
So is there a sign on your house or out front of your house?
No, there isn't. It's kind of like appointment only if somebody would like to reach me for anything.
Okay, thank you.
I'm open.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, it doesn't appear that we have any questions right now. Maybe at the end we'll, have some additional questions. But thank you, Michaela. That was very interesting. So I am going to now pass it on over to another one of our LEC Advisory Committee members, Courtney Pale, and she's going to introduce our second guest today.
Thanks, Amy. So today I asked oh, sorry, my screen started moving. Jesse Grottle from Gallery 29 to come and speak. I know Jesse's wife, and hearing her talk about his business really made me want to reach out to him. So I'm going to introduce Jesse. Jesse is a St. Mary's native. He graduated from ECC. He continued his education on through Slippery Rock, where he received his fine arts degree, a bachelor's degree, and he also had a focus in painting and sculpture. He moved to Pittsburgh, where he resided for about 5 years. A fun fact that when he was there, he made upwards to 200 frames, and that's pretty cool, for pictures, for museums. He is also a published artist, where he has worked internationally and here nationally. And he currently is the owner of Gallery 29, and he's here today to share more information about Gallery 29. So please welcome Jesse.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. To touch on what Courtney said, I did go to UCC. I graduated in 2006, moved on to Slippery Rock after that. I didn't know where I wanted to go. My 3 best friends applied there, so that is the only school I applied to, and that's where I ended up. After that, I moved to the southern coast of Maine for a couple months just to take a break. Studied painting, funded my trip by selling paintings while I was there, and ended up in Pittsburgh after that. I worked in the retail framing industry when I first moved there because I had enough knowledge to get me by, and I worked actually at a Michael's location in Cranberry. That lasted for a few months until I saw a job posting for a frame shop supply company located down in the city in Sharpsburg in Pittsburgh. And I ended up working my way up to be the lead frame builder there. So I was building, and like she said, 200, that was a daily thing for me. I was building about 100 to 200 picture frames a day. We supplied museums, galleries all across the world. I've built credit card sized picture frames to frames you could drive cars through, massive picture frames. I pretty much have seen it all and done it all in terms of framing. And that was kind of where I got my foot in the door in the framing industry and kept moving forward with that. And now actually they supply me. So it kind of worked out in a strange way. I order from them and they send me my orders and little high notes and everything like that. So like she said, I do have artwork exhibited nationally and internationally. The most recent one to head overseas is in London right now. And I actually have, well, the original is in London. I have a print here in the gallery that I will show everybody also. I'm hoping I don't lose service. I'm kind of in a, well, if you know where my location is, we're the big block building down on the corner by Dawn's. So it's kind of like a dungeon in terms of service, but we're gonna try our best. I have some notes here also that I'm gonna be flipping around and looking through, so bear with me a little bit here. Well, to talk about my current body of work, I did a lot of photography work after a while because when I worked in sculpture at school, I was doing figurative works that were like upwards of 20 foot tall. And my whole senior show were gigantic figures, and they all, except for I think one, ended up in a dumpster because I had nowhere to put them. They were made from concrete and steel and plaster and all kind of different materials. And the sculpture, they built a new sculpture building in Slippery Rock right before I left. And I was able to finish my senior year in that building. And one of my sculptures is actually outside of that building right now. So that ended up being a pretty cool send-off for me. But let me see here. I guess to give you a background of the business itself, after I moved back home, started a little family. I have 2 boys now, and I was looking for something better to do than what my current situation was. Not that I didn't like my job, I just knew I didn't want to do it forever. I went to school for a reason, and I always had a dream of having a place like I have now. And when Pete retired, Pete Winkelbauer obviously is heavily involved here. When he retired, I talked to him and just said, hey, what do you think? Is it feasible? Do you think we need something like this? And he kind of gave me the encouragement I needed to move forward. And he was noted as my mentor and a recent article in the Daily Press, and I couldn't describe him any better than that. He's been a blessing to have on my side, and he really kind of brings a certain, I don't know, ambiance to the place when he's here. Everybody knows Pete. He's a local legend. So, I mean, it really worked in my favor having him involved with us. So we kind of started, we found a location, and piece by piece just kind of built along what we thought were the parameters we should stick to. We knew we had to diversify a little bit. Just selling artwork isn't gonna make us survive in a small town. So we had to add the custom framing in. The lessons have been out of control, and we cannot wait to get started again. We were doing lessons for adults and kids. They were painting and drawing classes. Some were nightly, and they were just like a one-shot deal. So it was almost like a paint and sip, but there was always a theme to the night. So the kids or adults would sign up, and they'd come in for 2 hours, work on their painting. We'd guide them through it. There was a theme to it. For a few of them, we chose artists to focus on. Like we had a Van Gogh night, a Matisse night, different nights like that, where we could kind of talk a little bit about the art history. I have a pretty extensive art history knowledge, so, and obviously Pete does too. So we were able to kind of give the kids a little background of the artist himself, talk about technique, and then they created their own image in the likeness of these artists that we taught them about. We had, I think, a whole week full of abstract classes scheduled at the beginning of March, when all of this happened and had to cancel every single one of those. So we do have classes to make up, and that's going to be our first priority. And then from there on out, we can start scheduling more and more. We did, just like I said, the nightly 2-hour programs, and we also started to branch out to make 4-week programs. So like, for example, Pete had a kids class where they came in, they had ideas, they started with the fundamentals, and week by week, these kids just created these phenomenal watercolor paintings, and they were able to leave with paintings in hand, and they were as proud as could be of themselves. So it's a really unique position that we're in, that we're able to kind of try to get everybody and anybody in here. You don't have to be a professional painter. You don't even have to have ever painted before. We welcome everyone. We like newcomers, and everybody likes to say, well, I can't do anything like that, but we kind of encourage people and say that, yeah, you can, and everybody has a little bit of that creative touch inside. And I think that it needs to come out, and I'd like to be an avenue for that. So that's one thing we're proud of. When COVID hit, it kind of decimated us a little bit. We were open for, I think, maybe 2.5 months when all of that started going down. So we were kind of just getting started. And after that, it came to a screeching halt. And the way we kind of adapted is we waited to see what was going on. I tried to do framing by appointment only. That worked for a while. I was getting a few jobs in and out, but then you would have people canceling on you, and you devote a whole day to meeting somebody, and then they don't show up. So that got kind of tough. So it kind of, I don't know, I still did a little bit, but we need to be full force open to be operational. And it is nice. We have an incredible location. It couldn't be better. So, I mean, you can't come in or out of town without stopping at our red light and seeing in our windows. Let me see what else I have for you here. Okay, so I right now we're starting to open back up again. Yesterday was our first day. We're just trying to get back in the swing of things, get people in here, get people walking around, and get them out of their houses. I just want to have a place where people can come and maybe go to dinner somewhere up the road from us and walk down the sidewalk and come in and look around. I think a common misconception is we're not a museum. We don't charge admission. A lot of people say, like you run, Pete always tells me, everybody always says, well, hey, can we just come in and look around, or do we have to buy something? And it's we're kind of fighting the mentality that nobody's really sure what we do yet. We're so brand new that it's hard to really get the word out. And so I guess the main thing we want people to know is that we don't follow you around and bug you to buy stuff, where we won't hover over you. We just want you to come in and see what we have going on. We're here every day just hanging out. I'm doing framing, and we're just, me and Pete kind of just hang out in the back and wait and see who shows up. And I can give you a little tour of the place, but I do encourage you to come down and see what we have going on. Right now our hours, we're only open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We're here from Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 5, and Saturday from 10 to 2. These hours are obviously going to expand once restrictions and everything start getting lifted, which will hopefully be soon. But we ran into an issue with our classes. We were having groups of 25, maybe 30 people in here a night. And for the amount of space we have, and with the 6 foot here, 6 foot there rules, that kind of really knocked us down. So it didn't pan out too well after the COVID thing kind of hit and knocked us down. But we're trying to get back into it. Let me see here. Things that we've been doing, at least we've been staying kind of busy, is before we started, I linked up with Joe Jacob. I've known him for a long time, and they wanted to have an art program of sorts at the Boys and Girls Club. And so that was all in the works. We planned that for a couple months, and then COVID hit, and that kind of put the cuffs to that too. But we have been going in there once a month. We have a handful of kids that take our painting classes up there. It worked out pretty well that they supplied I gave Joe a list of materials to buy, and we charged them less than half of the rate that we would be doing down here, just to kind of, we want everybody to have a chance to take lessons. If you have that creative bug, we want you to pursue that. And that was a great avenue for kids who may not be able to make it down here and pay for our full class and everything. So we've been doing that up at the Boys and Girls Club. We actually, I think this will be our fifth or sixth session coming up next week. So that's been going good. We're hoping to expand that as time goes on. We have two t-shirts that we're going to be releasing once we are in full force action here. They're going to be limited edition t-shirts. They'll both have the Gallery 29 logo here, but on the back, one has one of Pete's paintings on it, and the other one has one of my works on it. And it was actually the one that got sent to London is the one that's on the back of mine. So we're going to be selling those, and it's going to be a limited edition kind of thing. So maybe like we'll sell 100 total, and once those 100 are gone of each, then they will never be made again. And then you wait another couple months and we'll release another set. And right now also I'm working on through the gallery, we're minting some prints of Pete's most recent work, and that kind of gives his work a broader reach. A lot of people don't want to come in, and he paints some gigantic images, and a lot of people don't have room for those on their walls, and a lot of people don't want to spend that much on a framed piece. So we're trying to branch out and make some more accessible prints that are limited edition that you can buy and still have a signed Winkelbauer on your wall. The only two I think that he's ever done in his career, which kind of shocks me because he's been painting for so long. He did one of the convents, and also one when the basketball team at ECC won the state championship. He did a run for that too, and he still has some, I think. So those didn't go as fast, but I think at that point in time he had to order, I think maybe 300, and still has a few left. But these ones that we're working on now, they'll be a lot more limited, probably about 50 a piece, and we'll hopefully be able to get those out and about and get some more Winkelbauer paintings on people's walls. But I'll give you a little tour of the place, if that's okay. And I apologize if I get in the back room, it might lag just a little bit because it's pretty well blocked off here. It's an old building and it's pretty much bulletproof. So I'm gonna go out to the front and kind of start and walk around and see if I can figure out how to show you guys what we have going on here. All right, so when you walk in our front door, this is our main front room that everyone has probably seen as they're stopped at the red light out here. So we have a whole wall of Pete's paintings there. This is our main wall that we have some bigger pieces on. The kind of, I'd say it's 50-50, the collection that's in here. And right here is the one that we're working on making prints for Pete's first run. But I have about 50% of my own private collection in here just on display so people can see it. We have images from, this is the one that I made. The original went to London. This will be on the back of my shirt version. This is a photograph of the Stackpole complex, and I print them and paint into them with acrylic paint and spray paint. This is an image by Brandon Boyd. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the band Incubus, but he is the lead singer of that band. Here's another one of mine, and also another of Brandon Boyd's. This is a Shepherd Ferry piece. He started Obey. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of that. It's a worldwide clothing brand. He does murals throughout the entire world. I think he has probably about 12 murals done in Pittsburgh itself. I have a pretty large collection of his work. So all of these guys on the wall are his. These were larger prints. Another one. So these two little rooms here are where, here's my nice little Zoom setup. These little rooms here are where we usually do our classes. We have cafeteria tables set up in each of them. Those two pictures need finished framing still, but here's some of John Seidlinger's work. He is I believe an Erie native, and now he lives in Emporium, but John worked for DCNR for a long time. He's now retired, and he devotes all his time to painting, which is his schedule. I think starts at 4 in the morning, and he paints and gets up early he said he likes to paint when it's nice and quiet and there's no distractions. So we have some of John Seidlinger's work here. Janet Van Eerden, she is a local. She does watercolor work as well, a lot of floral work. And then here are some more Shepherd Ferry works from Obey. These images were derived from an old Jimi Hendrix poster. I don't know if it looks familiar to anybody else, but John Van Hammersfeld, he designed the original one. He used to do all sorts of concert posters, and this iconic image was created by him. They collaborated, and all of these are signed by both of those gentlemen. This is my collection of Michael Reeder's work on the wall here, not the floor. Michael Reeder is an artist from Los Angeles. He's an up-and-coming contemporary artist that I collect his work. I can't afford an original yet, but so I go for the prints, which I mean, I'll get my hands on anything I can. So I have a large collection of his stuff that I show off here too as well. So these two rooms kind of work out great because we have our own, we can teach both rooms at the same time. We kind of set up in the middle, give direction, and just let people go at it. And it's cool to see. We'll walk around, like we have the tables set up and chairs and everything, and we walk around and just focus on everybody. Every class we have, it's always the both of us here, and we give everyone as much attention as we possibly can in terms of watercolor, acrylic, drawing, whatever we're doing at that present time. We also have a good collection of Richard Schuck. He is a local guy as well. He doesn't live here anymore, but I have a ton of his prints here. We have, I think all in all, probably about 150 images throughout the entire gallery. Mostly, I'd say at least 60% are for sale. And then this room is where we might start to lag. This is the frame shop area. So this is where I do all of my work. And I have a lot of my own private pieces hanging up and a lot of pieces that Pete will never sell, like that one. He brings them down to display them for everybody to see. Hopefully within, I don't know, a month or so, if restrictions start to get knocked down a little bit, we can maybe focus on having more group shows and things like that and get more artists in here. We had one group show and that was it. It was all right. We had a good turnout. We were able to get people in here, and we actually held a little bit of a fundraiser kind of thing for the Humane Society. Pete painted a little 12 by 12 image, and I framed it, and we sold almost 400 tickets for it that night. They were $1 a piece, and we raffled them off, and that money went to the Humane Society. So we're trying to stay relevant. We've been, I don't know, I just keep telling everybody we've been closed longer than we've been open. So everything's still kind of brand new to us. It's almost like we're starting over again. And we know what worked before, we know what didn't work before. So it might have been a blessing in disguise. We can kind of build upon what we've learned so far and what didn't work. So we're just hoping that people respond to it and come in. I know it's tough with everybody asking, can we just come down and look around? And I just want to shout it from the rooftops that, yeah, that's the whole reason why we're here. And we want people to see things that they don't normally see. I have, let me see where my list is. I have over a dozen of Pete's paintings, John Seidlinger, Janet Van Eert, and Richard Schuck. I have half a dozen of my own. Shepard Ferry. I have a ton of his stuff. Michael Reeder, Brandon Boyd, Pure Evil. He's a graffiti artist from the UK. I have a couple of his pieces. I just want people to know that there are more things out there than what they may see around here. And a lot of the art that everybody knows is Pete, and that's kind of it. That he's always been the king in town, and deservedly so. He earned that stake, and I think that people, if people see something that's not a watercolor landscape, they kind of think, well, what the heck is it? So we're trying to branch out and show people a little bit of everything that's hot right now. Michael Reeder is one of the hottest contemporary artists right now. And he actually he was supposed to have a solo show in Japan, his first international solo show, and that was canceled due to COVID. And now I think, the gallery was Hashimoto Contemporary, and I believe that they are up and running again, and his show has been rescheduled. So I don't know. I bring all of my own private collection stuff here so people can see it, and it kind of gets rotated in and out. And we just want people to come down, hang out, and talk and see something new, maybe be inspired. And I think it's just, I don't know, we want people to be involved and to really make this a community thing. And I think that in terms of art, everybody has that creative bug, but some people are too hesitant to pursue it. Some people don't have the means to pursue it. And I think even in school settings, the arts and music and everything they're usually the first things to get defunded, and like their budgets go down. So if you're not into sports, then what do you get to do? So we're trying to give people a chance to really pursue their passions and hone in on their skills. And so far we were off and running, and all of a sudden it came to a halt. But right now we're starting that run again, hopefully. So I don't know if I rambled on or if any of that made sense, but if anybody has any questions, bring them on.
Great. Thank you so much, Jesse, and thank you, Michaela. We do have a couple questions. A question you left in the chat. So Jesse, where do you advertise the products, items for sale in the classes that you offer? Do you have a Facebook page, a website?
We do. We have both. We have a Facebook page, and that's usually where we list everything. We have a newsletter too that you can sign up for. And they're basically flyers that we send out. I design a flyer, send it out to our newsletter, and then that flyer gets posted on our Facebook page. And then you go to the website to sign up. So you can go and reserve your spot on our site. And it worked pretty slick for a while there. And you can pay cash if you wanted to. You just select that as an option, or you can pay right then and there for your ticket, and you're on the roster, and we're here waiting for you when the time comes. In terms of art sales, we don't have anything cataloged because our inventory, it's constantly changing. And I mean, I just rehung this entire place. And if somebody comes in and buys 3 paintings, then I'm going to have to rehang an entire room probably. So it's hard to keep a roaming inventory of our stuff. That's why our best avenue is just to get people in here and really see the stuff in person. Once we branch out into the prints and things like that are a lot easier to send, then they'll also be available online, which would go on our website too. Our website right now I worked on it for about 2 weeks just to get the payment system going so people can sign up for classes. And I definitely need to get a lot more information on there. And then we can maybe even start selling our limited edition shirts through that site and sell the prints through that site also. But everything was a work in progress, and then it got stopped. So now it's still a work in progress. So I'm hoping to keep branching out and keep expanding and come up with better ideas and different ideas too.
And it looks like the website address is gallery29 all spelled out.com.
Yep. Gallery 29 all spelled out, not the number. There's not a whole lot going on there right now. I have you'll see the abstract classes that we had scheduled. They're still on there because I have to have them on there for the list of people to contact to get them back in here, which we're going to be doing that within a week or so. And it kind of comes down to comfort level for people. I'm not sure how many are going to still want to come in, and if not, that's okay. We can give you your money back. But I think a lot of people are itching to get out and do things, and I'm hoping that'll create a little bit of a buzz with this place. Even before we opened, we did participated in Light Up Night, and I think we probably had over 250 people in here that night just to come in and paint little wooden ornaments I made. They're I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're them little wooden blocks that look like coasters. They're circular wood cutouts, and I stamped them with the Gallery 29 logo and Light Up Night 2019, I think it was. And kids came in and painted the opposite side, and they had strings on them to hang on their tree. So unfortunately, we couldn't do that last year, but we did that, and we couldn't even fit anybody in here. We had people waiting on the sidewalk to get in. It was awesome. And just to see that kind of attention put on the place before we were even officially open was really nice and promising. And I hope that can continue now that we're getting back to the basics and trying to get started all over again. So.
Great, thank you. And how can people sign up for the newsletter?
You can just send me a message on Facebook or just send me an email and I will add you to the list. It really is, it's just a PDF file. I don't bombard with information week after week. It's just somebody get it. I'll type up what we're going to do for that day and send it out. And the newsletter usually gets 24-hour priority, I promise them. So then they have a chance to sign up first, and then I post it on Facebook for everybody to see. So the newsletter, if you're interested in getting on that, you can send me an email or send me a message directly on our Facebook, and I can add you to that. But they just show up as a single PDF file, just an image, and it gives you an idea of what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. So, and same goes with that newsletter will be where we tell people about the shirts being available and different things like that too. So, but you guys are the first to hear about that because we've been working on those, and they're turning out nice. They're direct to garment printing, so they are a little bit higher up on the scale. They're not screen printed or anything. They are. I wish I would have brought one down here with me, but I was scrambling. They are direct to garment printing. They look gorgeous. So you can own a shirt with a Pete Winkelbauer painting on the back, and it'll be cool if we sell some and see people walking around town wearing them. It is our hopes, you know, and we were so new, and now it feels like we're new again. So it just, we're getting there. I don't know. We're trying our best.
Wonderful. And I think there's a lot of Pete fans around here, as you mentioned. So I would imagine shirts will probably go pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping. And we kind of want to list them at like, they're going to be a limited edition thing. So they might even, the tag of them might even be numbered. If it, say we do 100 of Pete's, that would be 100 no matter what size. If you order a small or a medium or extra large, whatever, once we hit that 100 count, we won't be making those shirts anymore. So it'll be kind of maybe like a collector's kind of thing, and get people excited about that. I think to go like every couple months and produce a new one, and just kind of make a sequence out of it. And because I mean, Pete's his work's phenomenal, and I have I think a dozen new paintings of his just from this year. He's been painting a lot lately, so we're excited for what's to come. Hopefully we can pick up where we left off, but that's the goal. I don't know. We're trying. We'll get there eventually.
Thank you. And when we send a follow-up email out to the participant group here, we'll include your email address on there. So folks.
Perfect. Okay. If anybody wants to write it down, it's just my first name, JESSE .GRADL@gmail.com. So.
Thank you, Michaela. She responded in the chat to the question as well about her products. PM8 has a Facebook page available with more information about paintings and products. And also on Michaela's PM8 or Facebook page, there's a link to her Etsy site. So thank you, Michaela, for sharing that. Also some discussion around likes to see things, art in the park type things, coordinating with the local Park and Rec program that's run by a leadership Elk County alumni, Danny Schneider. And Michaela did comment that she did a class to some middle school age students last summer through the rec department.
Okay.
And that's what you guys are doing with the Boys and Girls Club as well.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to kind of branch out. I mean, it was tough once we were like 2 months ago, we were like, all right, let's do it. Let's start doing some classes. And then a week later, the schools were closed again. And it just, like, it seems like every time we were ready to get going, something else came up. And I don't want people to feel uncomfortable being in here. We're not going to stand over your shoulder breathing on you or anything if you're nervous about the COVID. And I mean, wear a mask in here if you want to. We'll have our masks on if people come in. And that should, I mean, the kids are used to that now, being in school. Unfortunately, they have to be used to something like that. But I think so once we are going, if we have to implement that, then it hopefully won't cause a stir. I don't want to get political about things and say, well, don't wear them or do wear them. I want everybody to feel comfortable being in here, because that's the key to getting creative and feeling comfortable in the space that you're in. So I don't see anything really holding us back. I hope not, at least. And once we get rolling, it should hopefully pick up where we left off.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, both. As Courtney just chatted, you're both doing some really wonderful work for our community. We really appreciate you taken some time to talk with us today. And we are just as excited for Gallery 29 to have kind of a rebirth, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We're ready. We're ready. And Pete keeps saying, "Yep, I'm ready." He got his vaccine. He's ready to rock and roll. He feels bulletproof now. So it's showtime now, I guess. So.
Yep. Very good. Okay, I don't see any other comments or questions in the chat. So I will just, take a minute here to do our regular monthly wrap up. Thank you to Courtney and Sheila for coordinating with Michaela and Jesse on getting you guys here to have a creative lunch with the Leadership Elk-Cameron program this month. This month of March, usually in our normal leadership program year, is actually focused on not just arts, but also the education systems within our counties. So we would normally be hearing from things like the Northern PA Regional College. We also usually tour a school and hear from administrators. And we've also in the past visited Dickinson's, the Elkwood Arts. Sorry, that name just escaped me quick. I saw Courtney was ready to help save me there. And then just, one last note is that for many years, we have also had Rich Skellen present on the importance of arts in the education system. And he would just do a fantastic job connecting how in art class, it's not just about kids sitting down and drawing pictures. It's, it's applying other types of academic skill sets. And Mr. Skellen just did a fantastic job, promoting that message. So, just, I guess if anything, I want to dedicate this session to Rich Skellen and all of the work that he has done in the arts for our region before his unfortunate, untimely illness. Okay, with that, we hope to see most of you back here next month in April for Economic Development Day. We've got a couple things in the works, including a virtual tour of Horizon Technologies, which is one of the small powdered metal companies, and actually a very innovative cutting edge powdered metal company in our region. Doug Bauer will give us a tour and talk to us about some of the cutting edge applications and things that they're looking at doing out of their company. And then it'll also be a good chance, to kind of give everybody an appreciation of just how far powdered metal products from this region travel and what their value is to the global economy. So look forward to hearing or seeing you all next month. And as a reminder, we'll send an email out as a follow-up with the link to the page where we put these recordings, a link to the session evaluation. We appreciate your feedback and input as always. And then don't forget about that incentive. We will draw a name as a monthly winner of a gift certificate to a local establishment here in the region. And also I will announce that last month's winner was Barb Glott. So we will be in touch with you, Barb, to get you your gift card over to you. All right, with that, thank you very much again, everybody. Go out and enjoy that sunshine, get some natural vitamin D while it's here, because who knows what'll happen next week. Thanks again, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.